Yo guys, what's up? It's Tube 101 here, coming at you guys today with another video. And in today's video we are doing part 2 of my ranking my 400 game collection. If you guys saw part 1, you know that I just reached my 400th game, and so we're going each row of games has 5 games in it, so we're going through each row of 5 and picking out my favorite game from those 5 and giving you a 1-minute showcase of all of them with a little bit of details about that game. So if you guys haven't seen the other parts, every single part was uploaded at the same time. But so I'll have links to part 1, part 3, and part 4 in the description down below, as well as the full thing, all 4 parts or all 5 parts, depending on how I do this. I think there's actually going to be 5 parts, but I'll have the full thing in the description as well if you just want to watch the whole thing. But yeah, guys, with that being said, let's just get straight into part 2. Alrighty guys, so as you can see there are rows of 5 games here, and we are starting out with row number 21, and it is going to be Enter the Gungeon, The Escapist, Everspace, Evil Inside, or The Evil Within. So the obvious winner here is going to be The Evil Within. None of the other 4 games really comes close to The Evil Within in my opinion. I know a lot of people really enjoy The Escapist, but The Evil Within is a survival horror game developed by Tango Gamers and published by Bethesda Softworks. It was released worldwide in October 2014 on PS3, PS4, Windows, Xbox 360, and Xbox One. The gamer describes it as a downright scary horror game, mostly due to its excellent creature design. The Evil Within, specifically the first game, is one of the best survival horror games in recent years. This game was brought to light by the legendary Resident Evil creator, Shinji Mikami. So that's what the gamer said about it. Yes, it's definitely the best game in this row. I didn't play the full thing yet, but it's definitely a lot better than the other 4 in the row. Alright, for the next row we have Evolve, Fable 1, Fable 2, and Fable 3, and Fallout 3. So alrighty guys, the clear winner, once again for this one, we have a clear winner, is Fable 3. Fable 3 is basically, you play as the younger brother to an evil king, and you have to take the kingdom back, and you have to gain followers and loyal people that are going to fight by your side to take back the kingdom from your evil older brother who's trying to kill people and doing all sorts of corrupt things. So you're basically on this quest to become king, and you meet all such cool people along the way. Such great character design in this game. This was my first game that I ever considered my favorite game of all time. You know what I mean? I don't know if that makes sense or not, but this is the first game I ever played where I was like, wow, this is my favorite game I've ever played. When I played it first on Xbox 360, I was really young. It's just so cool. There's so many different AI interactions. You can interact with so many different AI. It's ridiculous. And just the whole storyline is really cool. The setting is really cool. It's just all around an amazing game. The next row is going to be Fallout 4, Fallout New Vegas, Far Cry Primal, Far Cry 2, and Far Cry 4. Alright guys, I'm going to be honest with you guys, I have not played that much of the 3 Far Cries on this row. I have played the Far Cries on the next row, but we'll get into that. So my favorite game is going to be Fallout 4. Fallout 4 is basically you're exploring in a post-nuclear disaster wasteland. There's not that many survivors, and you're basically just exploring, trying to find different stuff, do different missions in this wasteland sort of thing. It was released in 2015, and 93% of Google users like the game. It is an action role-playing game developed by Bethesda. Once again, we see a Bethesda game on here. And it is the 4th main game, of course, it says Fallout 4. It is the 4th main game of the Fallout series. Alrighty guys, moving on to the next row, we have Far Cry 5, Far Cry 6, Far Cry New Dawn, Farming Simulator 15, and FIFA 22. This one's a very clear winner in my opinion. It is Far Cry 5. Of course, I am very into American core stuff. If you're not really into that whole American core, you know, USA sort of thing, you might not enjoy Far Cry 5 as much as I did compared to the other Far Cries. But this one was right up my alley. I really enjoyed the plot to it. I really enjoyed all the different characters in it. They definitely took a lot of time on different character designs in this game. You have a whole bunch of like crazy fun missions, a whole bunch of different guns you can choose from, a very large map, open world map to roam around in, lots of different stuff to do, tons and tons and tons of side quests, and all, you know, really this all this sort of stuff put together makes it the best Far Cry game in my opinion. But it's mainly that plot and the character design is absolutely phenomenal in Far Cry 5. Alrighty guys, in the next row we have the final station, Firefighters, the Simulation, Firewatch, Five Nights at Freddy's, and For Honor. So guys, I know a lot of you guys like Five Nights at Freddy's, but in my opinion, the winner is going to be Firewatch. This is one of the best indie games I've ever played. Basically, you are a park ranger and you're roaming around a park and there's a whole bunch of different crazy stuff happening that you have to stop and take care of the park and look after the park and stuff like that. It's just a really nice, it's a very wholesome game to play. So you guys, 95% of Google users liked Firewatch, so that right there should tell you how good this game is. For an indie game to get a 95% rating from Google users is absolutely insane. Its initial release date was February 9th, 2016. Alright guys, going into the next row, we have Forbidden Forgiveness, Fortnite, Forza Horizon 5, Fractured Minds, and Frostpunk Console. Now guys, Fortnite is the obvious winner for this one because they did so much to revolutionize the gaming world entirely. They were the first free game to really blow up and prove that free games can be profitable with the in-game store that's completely optional and completely cosmetic, and it's still one of the most profitable games out there. It's really revolutionized Battle Royale games. It popularized the Battle Royale genre. It really exposed a lot of people to Battle Royale, and that's one of the reasons it's the best game in this row. And the graphics, in my opinion, the graphics in Fortnite are very beautiful in my opinion. I really love how Fortnite looks. All the different characters you can play as in Fortnite is really insane. Alrighty guys, in the next row we have Full Throttle Remastered, Game of Thrones, A Tall Tale Series, and Gang Beast, The Gardens Between, and Garfield Kart Furious Racing. Alright guys, so the winner is going to be Game of Thrones, A Tall Tale Series. Now we already had Tall Tale games once in this full episode of the full 400 games in the first part, but it comes back again in the second part in Game of Thrones. First of all, if you've enjoyed Game of Thrones as a TV series, you will really enjoy Game of Thrones as the game, as the Tall Tale game, but I don't think you've had to watch a TV series because the game itself is really, really nice. It's just, you know, it's a Game of Thrones thing. Basically, there's different kingdoms. It's described as a episodic graphic adventure video game based on the TV series which is of the same name. So you guys, you know, obviously every single Tall Tale series game is just an episodic graphic adventure game. It's just your choices matter. Every single choice you make matters for these characters, and it's up to you whether the characters do good or survive or whatnot. So every single choice you make during this episodic game is going to matter. So it's basically like you're watching the TV series, except for it's your choices that are affecting the character. Going into the next row, we have Gears 5, Generation Zero, Ghostbusters, Goat Simulator, and Golf with Your Friends. This is a very interesting row, but I'm going to have to go back to the Among Us row when we said that the best game was the large party game, because Very, very few games can make large party games work, and Golf with Your Friends is one of them. This is a 8-person online multiplayer game, and don't worry if you don't have any friends, they just have random matchmaking to where you're still playing with random people, and it's just so much fun. The course design on Golf with Your Friends is really nice. It's definitely the best golfing game on Xbox in my opinion. It's just a really addictive mini golf game. And there's not, not a whole lot you can say about it, but I know a whole lot of people that enjoy Golf with Your Friends and that don't usually play golfing games, and I'm one of those people. I don't usually play golfing games at all. I don't enjoy golfing that much, but Golf with Your Friends is a really, really good mini golf game. Alright guys, going into row 29, we have The Good Life, Grand Theft Auto 5, Graveyard, Greedfall, and Grid. Alright guys, so the obvious winner in this row is going to be Grand Theft Auto 5. You guys already know the winner for. You guys already know the reasoning for this. It's such a massive game. It's a revolutionary game. 3-person story mode is really, really cool. So you can switch between 3 different playable characters, and you're playing like all 3 of these characters through the end. And in the end, you have the choice of saving one or the other, or try to save both. And so it's just a really interesting plot and story mode. And the online multiplayer was completely revolutionary as well, with the entire city of Los Angeles and the desert part as well. And so there's obviously, there's boating, there's jet skis, there's airplanes, there's motorcycles, there's cars. You can do literally everything in Los Angeles and the surrounding desert. You can go to strip clubs, rob gas stations, run from police, kill police. You can go golfing. Once again, you can go golfing in this game as well, just like the last row. And so, yeah, guys, Grand Theft Auto V is the winner of row 30. That was row 29. My bad, guys. We're going into row 30. And row 30 is Grim Fandango Remastered, Grounded, Grow Up, Happy Dungeons, and Happy Wars. So guys, the obvious winner to me is going to be Grim Fandango Remastered. Grim Fandango has so much comic relief throughout it. It's just stacked with comic relief. Basically, you're playing in the afterlife. You're going on this little little adventure in your afterlife. VentureBeat.com says it's one of the best stories anyone has ever told in a game. So basically, you're playing through a guy's four years in life. You have to go through 4 years of an adventure in the afterlife. There's not really a whole lot I can say about Grim Fandango. You're basically just playing throughout 4 years of a main story in the afterlife. There's a whole bunch of comic relief in it. And it's definitely the best row in this game by far. A lot of people like Happy Wars and Happy Dungeons. I didn't really. A lot of people like Grounded. I didn't really like Grounded. And a lot of people like Grow Up, and I didn't like Grow Up that much. So for me, the obvious winner is going to be Grim Fandango Remastered, which I did enjoy. Alright guys, going into row number 31, we have Haven, Hawken, Headlander, Hello Neighbor, and Hitman 2. Alright guys, so Hitman 2 and Hitman the Trilogy are going to have to win this row. It's such a great stealth shooter game. You have to figure out how to get into places, how to sneak around, what disguises you need, who to get the disguises from, basically by knocking them out and stealing clothes off of them so you can sneak into other places, how to kill people that you're assigned to kill. You're basically just playing the role of 007 or a hitman. And it's a very, very good plot. There's a whole bunch of different episodes that all have good plots to them. It's just a very amazing stealth shooter game. I would highly recommend playing Hitman 1, Hitman 2, and Hitman 3. The trilogy just came out on Xbox Game Pass, so it's completely free to play, and it's with cloud gaming if you have Xbox Game Pass. So there's no reason not to play Hitman. It's definitely the best game in this row. Once again, it's a complete blow away to the other four. It's obvious winner in this row. The Hitman trilogy is absolutely fantastic. Alright guys, going into the next row, we have Hollow Knight, Homefront, The Revolution, Hot Shot Racing, Hue, and Human Fall Flat. Alrighty guys, so the winner has to be Homefront The Revolution. Very ironically, Homefront The Revolution was released in 2015, I believe, and it's based on there's mandatory lockdowns in the United States, and so people launched this mass revolution and rise up against the government. Well, because North Korea takes over the United States, and that's why there's lockdowns. And so if there's lockdowns in your country, you have to rise up. You can see the comedic effect in that, because we just went through lockdowns and nobody rose up. But Homefront the Revolution is still a very, very good game, a really good plot, very fun game to play. Very action-packed, sort of. It's a very exciting game to play. It's definitely the best game in this row once again, and it was very cheap on sale too. I think it was like $5 on sale the last time I checked, a couple of days ago, and one of the Xbox's recent sales that is probably still going. Well, not at the time of posting this, it's long gone, but if you see another sale, Homefront the Revolution is always on sale for really cheap, though, is what I'm trying to say. And so yeah guys, I would definitely recommend buying it, but I would recommend buying it on sale. Going into the next row, we have Hyperscape, I Am Alive, I Am Bread, I Am Fish, and In the Rays of Light. Alright guys, so the winner in this one is going to be In the Rays of Light. In the Rays of Light is an atmospheric adventure game. It's basically about what happens in our life, what happens after death, and the world in general. There's a very good puzzle element to this. You have to figure out sort of different things. It can be creepy, it can be exciting, it can be beautiful, it can be heart-touching, it can be all sorts of different emotions are going to be felt out throughout this game that at first glance comes off as just a walking simulator, but once you get to know the game a little bit better, it becomes more than just a walking simulator, because there is the puzzle element to it. I just said element, combining the words puzzle and element, but there's the puzzle element to it. There's definitely the emotional element to it, because it's life and death in the world in general. There's so much art to it, and it's just a very, very beautiful game to explore. I would highly recommend it, and it's definitely the best in this row. Alright guys, going down to the next row, we have Indivisible, Injustice, Gods Among Us, Injustice 2, Inner Space, and Insurgency Sandstorm. Alright guys, so I'm going to have to pick Insurgency Sandstorm. It's basically a whole lot like Call of Duty, except for it's a little bit more realistic. It's not a very good first-person shooter. There's definitely better first-person shooters out there, and there's definitely better first-person shooters on my list of games. Or at least in the 4 or 5 part series that we're doing. If you watch the full thing, there's already been better first-person shooters in the first round, but Insurgency Sandstorm takes place in the Middle East. It's a realistic first-person shooter like Call of Duty, and it's a little bit laggy. The shooting isn't that great. The gameplay isn't very great, but it's definitely the best in this row still, and it is a good war game, and it's a nice multiplayer game. Guys, in the next row, we have Into the Pit, Island Saver, the Jackbox Party Pack 3, Jetpack Refueled, and Journey to Planet Savage. Alright guys, so I'm going to have to pick the Jackbox Party Pack 3 on this one. It's basically just a collection of 5 other different games, but the 5 board games featured into this one game are very fun, very good to play with the party. It's just 5 board games, trivia games, that sort of thing. It can be very addictive to play with friends if you have friends to play with, and I would highly recommend playing this with your friends. It's literally called the Party Pack. It's supposed to be played at a party or with a group of friends, and it's very addictive if you have the friends to play with. It's really hard to recommend for a single player because it's literally called the Party Pack. It's supposed to be played as a party, and it's just 5 board games, but the board games are very fun. Alright guys, going into the next row, we have Joyride Turbo, Jurassic World Evolution, Just Cause 4, Katamari Damacy Reroll, and Catastick. Alright guys, so I'm going to have to go with Just Cause 4. So basically it is a shooting game to where you're doing things just because. It is completely filled with action. There's a whole bunch of different things to see. The graphics are pretty nice in this game, and you're just doing so many different things. It's sort of like Grand Theft Auto, but more cartoonish. Not cartoonish, but more animated, I guess you could say, than Grand Theft Auto. And it's just a very fun game. You're literally doing things just because, you know. There is like a plot and story to it. Yeah, it's just an action adventure game, and 86% of Google users liked Just Cause 4. Alrighty guys, moving into the next row. Moving into row number 37, we have Killing Floor 2, King's Quest, Kingdom Hearts, Knockout City, and Kona. Alright guys, so this one has a very obvious winner to me, and that has to be Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts is another action fighting game to where you're playing as a whole bunch of different animated characters, both anime characters and cartoon characters that you're definitely going to remember from your childhood, such as Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, and Goofy, and just a whole bunch of different cartoon characters that you're definitely going to remember, and definitely have a lot of fun seeing this whole rework on them. Seeing them in a fighting game is really interesting, and seeing the character development and design in this game is really interesting. You're definitely playing this game for the characters, but it is a really good fighting game in general. The map design is also really nice, I feel like. And yeah guys, Kingdom Hearts is such a classic. It definitely has a cult following, and so it definitely has to be the winner of this row. Alrighty guys, going into the next row, we have Lake, we have Laser League, Late Shift, Layers of Fear, and the Lego Movie. Alrighty guys, this one is a very tough one. I would say it's a four-way tie between Lake, Late Shift, Layers of Fear, and the Lego Movie video game, but I have to go with Late Shift. Now, Late Shift is one of those movie type of games, so if you guys don't like those, you're not going to enjoy this one, but it's one of your games where every single one of your choices matters. It's going to completely impact the outcome of the game, or at least that playthrough, so every single small choice you make is going to matter for every single character that you bump into, and it's just a very interesting movie-esque game to play. I've played it probably 4 or 5 times completely, and it's definitely a very fun and interesting game to play through. Basically, you're trying to like steal money from like an auction house. It has to do with like wealthy people and like this one little plate and like Chinese gang members, and a whole bunch of different stuff gets involved in it. But 97% of Google users liked this game, guys. 97% is a very high rating, especially for a movie-esque type of game. So yeah guys, it is one of the most highest rating games in this entire 400 game ranking. 97% is amazing. Alrighty guys, moving into row number 39, we have Lego Star Wars, The Complete Saga, Lego Batman, Lego City Undercover, Life is Strange, and Life is Strange Part 2. It's so complicated because it's two completely different games, both classics in different ways in their own right, between Lego Star Wars and Life is Strange. But I'm going to have to go with Life is Strange, just because it's more of like a real game, I guess you could say. And I sort of like the story mode of it, how you can sort of turn back time and fix your mistakes, and going on this completely insane, well, not necessarily insane story mode, but a very beautiful story mode, going through this entire character's story with your different friends and stuff. It's a very beautiful game to play through. definitely emotional at parts. It's described as a primarily episodic graphic adventure game published by Square Enix. And you guys, Life is Strange is the best game of row 39. Alrighty guys, in the next game we have Life is Strange Before the Storm, Limbo, Little Nightmares, Lonely Mountains, Downhill, and The Long Dark. Alrighty guys, so once again I'm going to have to pick Life is Strange Before the Storm. The prequel to Life is Strange is literally called Before the Storm, so it's obviously the prequel. Everything I said about the first Life is Strange. It's a very beautiful episodic adventure game that you're learning about this character that you're playing as, all her different friends and stuff. So many different adventures that you're going to go on. So many beautiful things that you're going to see, experience, and feel throughout this game. It's a wonderful prequel to the first part, and guys, it has to be the best game of row 40. Alright guys, hope you guys enjoyed watching part 2. It's my 400 game ranking, and I hope you guys stick around for part 3, or if you're still watching the full episode, thank you guys very much. And yeah guys, I'll see you guys in part 3. Peace!
I can't believe Firewatch is playing a show at the old